Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome to your number one source for Native American television news. It's Muskogee Vision. I am your host, Jason Salzman, here in the Muskogee Media Studios, and we have got a great show for you folks this week, and it is cram full of content. We've got all kinds of stuff to bring you, a little bit of education, a little bit of healthcare, just a little bit of everything, even some sports thrown in there. So, great show lined up today. And as I said, we will get to some of the educational parts later. We're going to have an explanation on the Johnson O'Malley program, how it sort of started and how it's put into action now. And we'll take a look at the Johnson O'Malley program here at Muskogee Creek Nation's Challenge Bowl, one of the biggest events of the year. We're going to take you back to the Challenge Bowl competition from high school last week. And then also we'll have a little fun for you, having some of the people around Creek Nation, myself included, answering some of the Challenge Bowl questions that are posed to those students. So we've got a little bit of that. But right off the bat, I visited with the state Indian Education Director. He's the Executive Director, actually, of Indian Education, Mr. Julian Guerrero in Oklahoma City. He is working in the administration of State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister. And really the reason I went and talked with Julian Guerrero is because every 6 years, they take a look at academic standards of the curriculum in Oklahoma schools. This year, social studies is up. So a lot of that naturally has to do with Native American history, Oklahoma Native American history. They've brought together a committee and they have redone the social studies standards, and now they contain over 4 times the amount that they originally had on references to tribal sovereignty. So I went and talked to Executive Director Guerrero about these changes.
The state agency, Oklahoma State Department of Education, in accordance with state statute, oversees a 6-year process to review and revise the state standards, and this effort's a part of that. So a part of the agency's role to facilitate the revision of the process, it brings in all the stakeholders. And particular to our connection with the revision process, I played a role in the executive committee to help coordinate and bring engagement with tribal representatives from diverse backgrounds. And Superintendent Hoffmeister's commitment to engaging tribal nations, all 39 sovereign nations across the state, has been evident, and from the beginning to what we're almost coming to the end now. We have multiple committees. We have a drafting committee, a writing committee, an executive committee, and tribal nations have been present, and those perspectives have been really ingrained in each of those committees. It's a very exciting time for tribal nations and the representation of sovereignty and social studies standards. It has quadrupled in terms of the direct references to tribal sovereignty in the standards. That doesn't even count the sort of references to American Indians, those terms in the standards already. So we've seen a large increase in that representation. And it's evident that, once again, it's because of superintendent's leadership and commitment and seriousness in taking representation to the next level. Well, as the agency has remained committed to educators and bringing quality resources to the classroom, the improvement that we see here in this development is that these standards, the tribal sovereignty insertions, are going to help strengthen classroom learning, positive classroom learning for students on the student level. And just having a resource such as tribal educators to bounce ideas off of, bounce perspective off of, it just strengthens and gives us greater confidence in making sure that we're delivering quality resources to our schools in Oklahoma. It's very critical and very hopeful, and we're all excited. Native students seeing themselves as tribal citizens at a younger age. So for a key example, in this social studies revision, as they stand right now, we'll see students prompted to learn about tribal sovereignty as early as 3rd grade, and then we'll continue 3rd grade all the way until 12th, which is amazing. Absolutely, to highlight unique opportunities, but also highlight the contributions that sovereign nations have had pre-statehood, during statehood, post-statehood, and we're all really excited to make sure that there's adequate and increased representation. And this is not just a checklist, item. This is something we're going to grow on, continue on, and improve.
And I want to thank Julian Guerrero there up at the state agency and all the people that facilitated that interview. And I really enjoyed my visit with him, and it looks to really have made a difference in the social studies standards. I know a lot of people in education are happy about that. 2 folks actually from the Muskogee Creek Nation Department of Education actually had lots of input on that process. I know Greg Anderson, the Secretary of Education here at Creek Nation, is very proud of that and wants everybody to know that they had lots of input on that, and it's wonderful to see not only those changes, but also Creek Nation departments and people having a hand in getting those changes made. Well, I went up to the Glenpool Conference Center this week as well to the American Heart Association's Go Red for Native Women Heart Health Summit. Lots of things going on up there, lots of different events, one-on-one, just everybody talking about heart health. Such a great event to go to.
My name is Rachel Crawford, and I am the Regional Director for Native Initiatives at the American Heart Association. And today we are hosting our 2019 Go Red for Native Women Heart Health Summit here at the Glenpool Convention Center. This is our 2nd year here at the venue. We're very pleased and very proud to have a sponsorship from the Muskogee Creek Nation to be able to put this event on, partnering with the health department as well to be able to provide health screenings as well as interactive sessions around cardiovascular education. So we've heard from some great presenters today on heart health, looking at ways to improve our risk factors for cardiovascular disease and stroke. We'll be here all day. We'll have a luncheon, and we are going to be having a Go Red fashion show. We've invited women to come out from the community dressed in their tribal regalia as well as contemporary regalia to show their interest and their support for the Go Red movement.
I was excited when they asked me to be in the fashion show because almost my whole life has been looking forward to fashion shows and being a fashion designer. Ever since I was 7, I wanted to be a fashion designer. And coming up in March, I'm going to be in a fashion show in Denver. So I'm getting ready for that right now. For this event, I brought my red skirt. I put pictures all around it of my family and friends. And all of the pictures, they show what their culture is about, showing their pride in their culture and how wellness is really how they love to be healthy. So that's what I really like, showing their pride in being Native American.
I came out in about 2014, and I have been with the organization for about 6 years, really focusing on improving the health of Native Americans and providing the education and getting the brand of the American Heart Association into our tribal communities. Because with all the great research and tools that we have available, they want to be able to really address the health of all Americans, and that really includes those populations that are disproportionately impacted by cardiovascular disease. So through my initiative with the Native aspect of programming, I've been able to work across a 6-state affiliate and really double down on our efforts and being a Native-led operation, as I am Native American myself. What we know is that cardiovascular disease impacts women at high rates. It's the #1 killer of women across the board, but for Native Americans it also disproportionately impacts our lives as well, and is, depending on the tribe, maybe the #1 killer or at least one of the top 3. And so we're really interested in making sure that we're providing education and outreach to our community members so that they know some of the things that they can do to prevent having a stroke or a heart attack, or if they have a family history for heart disease, that they're being attentive to the issues that impact their health and providing prevention tips for them. So it's really important that we include all of our tribal folks, that they come here in an intertribal setting and are able to take that information back. So we're really excited to be here. We'll also be having an intergenerational panel, getting perspectives from the different generations on what is health, what does that look like in our communities, what are our priorities, and how can we do better, how can we be better in improving the health outcomes of our Native folks.
All right, I want to thank Rachel Crawford, all the good people there at American Heart Association for having me up. A great event, lots of information shared there, and those ladies having a lot of fun too, and getting some really, really pertinent stuff to take back to their communities and to their loved ones and everything about heart health, being aware, and maintaining that. So a great event there. I want to thank Rachel and all those good people for having me up. Well, as I said in the beginning, we're going to be talking about JOM today. What is JOM? A lot of people hear that in schools, Johnson O'Malley program, JOM supplies, JOM eligible students. What is it? How did it come to be? How do we now have a Johnson O'Malley program that fosters the education of American Indian students all across the United States? Well, our good man here, Jared Moore, my right-hand man here, has put together a nice video for you all to sort of summarize what is JOM and how we got to where we are now with that program.
Muskogee Media presents, What is the Johnson O'Malley Program? The Johnson O'Malley Program provides funding for Native American education and programs, such as the Muskogee Creek Nation Challenge Bowl. The JOM program was established by the Johnson O'Malley Act of 1934 as part of what is often called the Indian New Deal. Its passage marked a shift in federal government policies away from enforced assimilation of Native Americans and towards encouragement and perpetuation of tribes and their cultures and traditions. With the passage of this act, federal funding for Native American education could be directed to states, schools, and school districts who had populations of Native children in order to encourage Native Americans to attend public schools. This move was in response to the conclusions of the Merriam Report of 1928, which examined the Department of the Interior's implementation of the Dawes Act. Officially titled The Problem of Indian Administration, this report found that education and care for Native American children in boarding schools was grossly inadequate and recommended a policy of integration of Native Americans into the public school system. Even though boarding schools continued to grow into the 1970s, the JOM program became one of the principal means of subsidizing Native American education in the United States. 1975 saw the passage of the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act. Title II of the Act amended the Johnson O'Malley Act of 1934 to increase the participation of Native American parents in the decisions affecting the education of their children. Title II also required all contractors to have an education plan approved by the Secretary of the Interior and provide full reimbursement to school districts for the cost of educating out-of-state Native American children. December 31st, 2018, the JOM Modernization Act was made law. This act updates the allocation process for federal funding under the program. requiring the Department of the Interior to annually update the count of Native American students eligible for JOM program funds. For more information on the JOM program, visit the National Johnson O'Malley Association at www.njoma.com or the Muskogee Creek Nation JOM program.
And great job there by Jared putting that together for us today. And if you go on our YouTube channel, you can see some of the things Jared has put together the last few weeks are basically wrap-ups of legal stories, legal updates, what is JOM, just very informational stuff. And it takes a lot of information, a lot of research, and he packages it in to where it's just kind of a one-stop shop for you. So definitely go to our online channel and check some of those videos out if you hadn't had the chance. Well, now that we have an explanation of what is JOM, it's time to kind of show you in practice what's happening at Johnson O'Malley programs, specifically here at Muskogee Creek Nation. Our biggest event of the year is the Challenge Bowl. And a lot of you out there, if you've been to schools and everything, academic meets or quiz bowls, things like that, everybody got the buzzer. It's basically a quiz, a trivia game amongst schools in our jurisdiction where they come together and answer questions about Creek history and culture.
I think that our youth is very important, and any not just the Native youth, but all youth are very important. And to get them doing something constructive, and then instead of doing something that's negative, where a lot of these children don't have an outlet of any kind. So sponsoring a team is just my way of giving back to what I went through in life. The value is teaching these Native kids about our culture, our language, our history, and it's very important, because without that, that's what makes us what we are today. Challenge Bowl is not easy, and it's not for everyone, but you can be involved and you can, participate, regardless of anything. It may be difficult at times in studying and trying. That's really what's important. And the more they learn, the more excited they get. So just come out and try it. It's a great opportunity. I'm just trying to do what I can do to give back to the children in my community.
All right, and we want to congratulate the winner of that Challenge Bowl, Glenpool Schools, and they're doing great. They've always done great in the Challenge Bowl. But as I was sitting there filming that day, I thought to myself, man, some of these questions are pretty difficult. And Kevin Barnett, he's a reporter, also a multimedia guy that helps us out with some videos here from time to time on Muskogee Vision. And Kevin was saying the same thing. And we sort of got to talking. We were like, man, I wonder how many people around the tribe may know these questions. Some of these kids, they're posed these questions, they have to pass, they maybe not know. And I thought, how many of us would pass? Or how many of us would take a guess that would be wrong on some of these questions? Well, you don't have to wonder. Kevin took the initiative and put together a video for us of some of the people around Muskogee Creek Nation, including yours truly, at answering some of the Challenge Bowl questions that are posed to the high school students. Even the principal chief is in here. So we hope you enjoy this look at Challenge Bowl questions. Wilson Jones. Manawa.
Pass.
Wilson Jones. Gitlow.
Wilson Jones. That is Chitoharjo.
We're doing terrible, y'all.
We are doing horrible.
This is horrible. Nova.
Farming, prosperity, doing your own, harvesting your own food, taking care of your people.
Work, I'm gonna put that, but I'm not for sure.
I always thought it represented the agricultural importance to our culture.
The fact that we were farmers.
It actually refers to a biblical prophet.
Okay, I'm doing great.
From the Bible scripture, Amos 9:13, I believe. The plowman will overtake the reaper.
Talk back. We're supposed to listen.
I'm gonna guess on this one. They weren't supposed to talk back, or they weren't supposed to stand.
Talk.
Look them in the eye.
I'm getting all these answers wrong.
Look at them. Calico?
It's food.
Oh man, I don't know. Blue dumplings. I don't know.
Cannabis.
I'm gonna guess on this one again. I'm just gonna say beads, but I feel like that's wrong. Wow, that's gonna be my final answer.
I think it was like adornment or jewelry, or.
And a lot of fun with that there. As you can tell, some of us are a little stumped by those questions. I tell you what, the one that really threw me is I always thought Chitoharjo, I thought that was, I thought that was his name from day one. And so you kind of stumped me there. And I just threw out the only name I sort of came to my head. But I got some of them right. You didn't see the ones I got right. They like to put me out there as getting all the questions wrong, but I got a few of them right, don't worry. But a lot of fun there, and we want to thank everybody that participated in that, having a little fun with us. Well, as you can see there, a beautiful setting for the Challenge Bowl was the College of the Muskogee Nation. Great campus there. The college has really grown by leaps and bounds the last 5 years, and now they're going to have another first. They are traveling to take part for the first time in the American Indian Higher Education Consortium's National Basketball Tournament. College of Muskogee Nation is taking a team. We talked to Coach Mackey more about it.
We started this basketball team as kind of an intramurals some years past, and we've always kind of had a goal of looking at going and competing in a national AHEC tournament, which is all the tribal colleges have a consortium that's built together in the nation, and we've been going and competing in different competitions. Your Knowledge Bowl, volleyball, we've done art, different contests like that. But we've always had a goal of trying to get the basketball into it, so it's a different, bigger event. And we had this goal, and we've tried in the past, but we've never accomplished that. So that's one of our things that we were trying to accomplish. And we've kind of always thought about it and looked at it. And this past summer, I had students that came to me and asked me if we could do it. And I think that's where it really became the biggest idea, was that it came from the students. It was always something administration, President Bible and them looked at doing, and Dr. Monty Randall, he had really tried to do it about 5 years ago, and it just didn't work out. But once we got a commitment from our students, they wanted to do it, we decided to take that to administration, and administration was 100% behind it. Said, you know, hey, here's our goals. If we can get 10 people eligible, and you know, you guys practice and everything, then we can do it. And so my guys, I told them, I said, you know, if this is what you guys want to do, if you're committed to it, we'll do it. And so that's kind of where it started. They have to earn it. That's the goal, is they have to make the grades and be eligible to go and travel with our team. To get them ready, we've been practicing 8 o'clock in the mornings as the only times that we could get. But our guys, our ladies and gentlemen and ladies are both showing up for practice. And so they've been really committed this past fall semester and so far this spring semester.
All right, we did it, folks. Thanks for sticking with us through this monster episode. So many things out there to get to, and we were really hustling this week. Lots of information, lots of content to get you, but we're so happy for everybody that helped us bring this together. I want to give a big shout out in-house right away to Jared Moore, Kevin Barnett for providing us with their pieces this week. Jared with the What is JOM wrap-up, and also Kevin with our questions, going around the horn, seeing everybody's knowledge or lack of knowledge on Challenge Bowl questions, things like that. So we're really, just so grateful to be able to come out and get things in the community with you each and every week. The Heart Health Summit, that's a great story to tell, to be able to show that there are high numbers of heart disease in our women, specifically in our Native women, but there are things being done about them at these summits, and there's things being given to these people, information to take back to their community. So it's a wonderful story to tell, and we are so glad to be Muskogee Vision, to be that outlet to be able to tell them. Folks, if you don't watch us here on Tulsa CW 1219, please go on to our YouTube channel, our online channel. You will get all of our things on demand as we upload them right there on your devices, whether it be your phone, your iPad. I talk to a lot of people, watch me, watch this show, watch our videos on their phones. That's just what people are doing nowadays, and we want to provide you with that outlet. So go to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe. You'll get everything as we upload it right there. You'll get a notification. Keep going to our Facebook page. Go to our website, MuskogeeMedia.com. There's news happening every day. We want you to be informed. That's why we want to push you to all of those outlets. We're just here on this channel once a week. But there, we're all day, every day going on, and you have your news happening about Muskogee Creek Nation. For Jared Moore, I'm Jason Salzman. You all have a great week. We'll see you next time.